A very good morning to one and all. And today concept is about, I'm going to deliver about the concept which is in the third unit according to our syllabus, that is bottom-up parsing. And here in this class, I am delivering the concept about the bottom-up parsing and introducing what the bottom-up parsing is and briefly explaining with an example, and then we're having in small concepts in under the bottom-up parsing, and just I am delivering those small concepts. One is an handle pruning and the other one is a shift reduce parser, right? And here just briefing about what the bottom up parsing is. And in the previous chapter, that means in unit number 2, I already delivered the top down parsing techniques. There we discussed about the top down parsing techniques along with its methods. And the top down parsing is an approach in which the parse tree gets built from top to bottom, where it is the definition of the top down parsing. Based on the definition of the top down parsing, we implement the parse trees. Right? And here and there in the top down parsing, the top down parsing has its own merits and demerits. As we all know what the merits and demerits after learning the concept like and predictive parsing, there itself we can understand what the merits and what the demerits of the predictive parsing is. And after learning the recursive descent parsing, and there itself we know what the advantages and limitations of the recursive descent parsing, and whatever the concepts under the top down parsing technique we already learned in the last classes, right? And here in this chapter I'm going to deliver about another parsing technique, that is about a bottom up parsing. And this class of parsing technique has various methods, as the top down parsing has two methods, but here the bottom up parsing has various methods. And in this chapter I'm going to deliver the various methods from this family of the bottom up parsing technique. And what those methods are, such as SLR is one of the parsing technique. It can be called as a simple LR, LALR, where it is a look ahead LR, and CLR, and the another parsing method is a CLR, that is canonical LR. And while learning these methods, our main intention is to understand how the input string gets parsed using the above methods. See, I spelled out some methods like an SLR, CLR, LALR. Here, by learning these methods, what the intention is to, or what the ability that we are going to understand, or we get some knowledge about this bottom up parsing is how the input string gets parsed using the above methods. And here the task of parser is twofold. The task of the parser is a twofold method. Why I am calling it as a twofold is, what the first one is, either it checks the input string completely for its syntax. Note down this point. Either it checks the input string completely for its syntax, or, and what the second one is, or it generates error messages on syntactically invalid input strings. These are the two most important basic things that we are implementing here. So we are calling these two as a task of the parser is a twofold method. And here we also discussed about in further and further classes, after learning about the techniques, and finally we are completing this unit with the concept of error recovery in parsing, discussing about the error recovery in parsing and handling an ambiguous errors. These are the two most important concepts. And the last concept, which is the most important concept under this bottom up parsing, is we already know what the building tools of compilers are. One is a lexan, another one is an YAC, right? And we already learned about the lexeme and lexical analyzer. Here we are learning the syntax analyzer. We are learning the syntax analyzer. So here in this chapter we'll discuss the automatic parser generator, that is an YACC. It is an Unix, an utility from the Unix, and where by supporting with by supporting the programming examples, we're learning one by one methods, and we're knowing what the merits of those methods and what the demerits of those methods. And finally we're concluding this unit with an by learning with the concept ACK. ACK is a tool. ACK is a tool. We are using that ACK tool for generating the parsers, right? And here, see, all of you see the slide here I shared to you all, where the slide consisting of some major important points, most important basic points about the bottom-up parsing. And here in this while discussing about most important point is how an input string gets parsed efficiently. How an input string gets parsed efficiently. And how by seeing that how the input string gets parsed efficiently, we are learning these types of techniques. We are learning these types of techniques. And here in bottom up parsing method, the input string is taken first, and we try to reduce this string with the help of a grammar and try to obtain the start symbol. Here the process of parsing halts successfully as soon as we reach to the start symbol. What it means is, what the definition of the top down parsing with a single line statement, how we're defining that, the top down parsing, root to leaves. What it mean? Deriving the parse tree from root to leaves. That means starting with the starting symbol from the given grammar and end with the input string that we need to generate, right? But while coming to the bottom up parsing, here it is in reverse. Here it is in reverse. Taking an input string and generating the starting symbol of the given grammar from that input string, right? That is nothing but an bottom up parsing. And here, when we should stop the construction of this bottom up parsing, and when we should halt it, when we can show that it is unsuccessful, when we reach to the start symbol, then automatically we halt the parsing of, we'll halt the derivation for the bottom up parsing, and finally we're concluding that successful. Finally we're concluding with the successful. And here what it means is the parse tree is constructed from bottom to up. Bottom to up, that means from leaves to root, from leaves to root, right? And once compare these two with the definition of the bottom up parsing with the definition of the top down parsing, there from root to leaves. And here in this bottom up parsing, here we are constructing the parse tree from bottom to up, that is from leaves to root. And here in this process, the input symbols are placed at the leaf nodes. After successful parsing, the bottom-up parse tree is created starting from leaves, and the leaf nodes together are reduced further into the internal nodes, and these internal nodes are further reduced, and eventually a root node is obtained. And the internal nodes are created from the list of the terminals and the non-terminals that are given from the grammar. I think you all understand what I explained now, right? What it means is just I explain how the derivation takes place. That means how we are generating from input string to the starting symbol of the given grammar. That means that's the definition of the bottom up parsing. See, here we're having some most important points in the slide. Bottom up parsing is more general than the top down parsing, yes. And here how we are building a derivation by working from the input sentence back toward the start symbol is. And here we are only preferring the methods in practice. When we are practice, then only we can know how the working principles are going to be implemented. And this bottom up parsing can also be called as an LR parsing. Make a note of this. In bottom up parsing, we are learning the LR parsing technique. In top down parsing, we already learned the LL of one parsing technique, right? LL of one parsing technique. Make a note of these two. In top down, LL, both L's. In bottom up, LR. And here the abbreviation of what the LR is, the first L is same for the both top down and bottom up. What it means is scanning the input string or reading the input string from left to right. And there in top down parser, we're having the second one is an L, where L is an leftmost derivation. In top down parsing, we are involving or we are applying the leftmost derivation, but here it is an rightmost derivation. We are constructing the rightmost derivation in bottom up parsing. Right, we are having two types of derivation trees. Two types of derivations. One is a leftmost and one is an rightmost. And we are applying the leftmost in top down parsing and we are applying the rightmost in bottom up parsing. Make a note of these most important points. And here we're having two types of bottom up parsings. One is an operator precedence parsing and the second one is an LR parsing. LR parsing. And again, the LR parsing is categorized into SLR, CLR, and LALR. SLR is a simple LR parsing method, and LR is a canonical LR parsing method. And LALR, it may be an intermediate, or we can also call as a look-ahead LR parser. These are the methods under the LR parsing technique. And here, totally, we are having two types of parsing techniques: operator precedence parsing and LR parsing. This LR is subcategorized into, again, 4 parsing techniques. And see here, the LR parsing reduces a string to start symbol by inverting productions, right? What it means is, by using this type of parsing technique, that is an LR parsing technique, we are reducing the string. We are reducing the string. How we are reducing the string? What the process we are following here to reduce the string? What type of a process we are following here? Right. Here we are having a question that, and here we are having a syntax for that. See, we are not mapping the syntax with the given grammar for the production rules. Just we are knowing that what the LHS and what the RHS of the production is. This A is the LHS. If we are having the production like this, A tends to beta, this A is an LHS of that production rule and beta is the RHS of the production rule, right? And we're having the beta as an input string. We're having the beta as an input string. What we need to do, just replace this RHS of the beta by the LHS of the non-terminal. Replace this RHS of the beta by the LHS of the non-terminal. What it means is, we are reducing the terminals by replacing with the non-terminals. We are reducing the terminals in the input string just by replacing the non-terminals in the place of that terminals. And finally, we are generating the starting symbol. And checking out, choosing the alternatives from the given grammar, and checking out the possibilities that are exhausted from the given grammar, and using all those possibilities, and finally generating the starting symbol of the given grammar. That is nothing but an LR is a technique that is used for reducing a string to start to the start symbol by inverting the productions. And here, see, all of you see the example here. All of you make a note of this example. In this process, basically parser tries to identify the RHS of a production rule. Tries to identify what the RHS of the production rule and replace it by its corresponding LHS. This activity is called as an reduction. This activity is called as an reduction. And here make a note, all of you, now what I am explaining the point, that is, there's the crucial but prime task in bottom-up parsing. Make a note, crucial but the prime task in bottom-up parsing is to find the productions that can be used for the reduction. Make a note of this. Why? Because in further concepts, again I will recall this point. When I'm explaining the further concepts, again I will recall this point. Thus the crucial but prime task in bottom-up parsing is to find the productions that can be used for reductions. And the bottom-up parse tree construction process indicates that tracing of the derivations are to be done in a reverse order. See here, this is in reverse order. Actually, in top-down parsing, from the starting symbol, we are generating the input string, right? Here we are doing in a reverse order. By taking an input string, we are generating a starting symbol. That means tracing of derivations are to be done in a reverse order. See, all of you see the example, then you can clearly understand up to now what I explained. As here, what the given grammar is, E tends to E plus open parenthesis, E closed parenthesis, or int. These are the two rules for the production, sorry, for the variable E. Here only two productions are having from the given grammar, only one variable is there, E, right? And here we're having in question that construct a bottom-up parsing for the given input string, construct or implement or whatever it may be. Int plus open parenthesis, int closed parenthesis plus open parenthesis, int closed parenthesis, right? And all these int are the terminals, where directly the int is defined by the variable E. The int is defined by the variable E. Make a note of this. And here what we need to do is, Again, the int is on the RHS of the production rule for the E, right? What we are doing, identifying the RHS of the production in the rule and replace it by its corresponding LHS. What it means is, just in the place of the terminal, we are replacing by its non-terminal. Make a note. Just by the place of the terminal, we are replacing by its corresponding non-terminal. See, E tends to int is there, right? The left hand side is an for the int is an right hand side production, and which is defined by the left hand side variable E. So just place E here. Just I am replacing E. Plus is plus. And next, again, write down what the rest of the input string is. Again, in the place of this int is defined by the variable E. Just replace E and write rest of the input string. And E plus open parenthesis, E closed parenthesis is directly defining by the variable E from the given grammar. Is a production rule here. So it is the RHS of the production. We need to replace this RHS by its corresponding LHS. What it means is, it is defined by the variable E, right? In the place of this E plus open parenthesis, E closed parenthesis, just replace E, right? Write down the remaining rest of the input string. Now, in the place of this int, again, replace the variable E. Now, E plus open parenthesis, E closed parenthesis. Again, the right hand side of the production rule is defined by the left hand side of the variable E. So finally it is an E, right? What the starting symbol of the given grammar? E. And we start with an input string and finally we end with an starting symbol of the given grammar. That means successful. We reduce the string just by what we done here. We reduce the string. How we reduce the string? Just by identifying the RHS of the production rule and replace it by its corresponding LHS, right? And replace by its corresponding LHS. See, here we're having the derivation tree or parse tree. We can call it as it is a tree structure, right? We perform this in a reverse order. So we apply the rightmost derivation, but it is in a reverse order derivation, right? Is it clear, all of you? All of you make a note of this. And what the given grammar is, E tends to E plus open parenthesis, E closed parenthesis, or int is the given grammar. For that given grammar, just by taking the input string like this and showing the bottom up, constructing the bottom up parsing by applying the rightmost derivation in reverse. Right, is it clear? See, we are having another example. Make a note of this example. What the given grammar is, E tends to T, T tends to T star F, T tends to F tends to ID is the given grammar. Just make a note what I am saying. E tends to T, T tends to T star F, T tends to F tends to ID is the given grammar. See what the input string here, by taking an input string ID star ID, and what we are generating here, the starting symbol of the given grammar. What the starting symbol of the given grammar is? E. The starting symbol of the given grammar is E, right? And without deriving, just representing the tree structure, without derivation, just directly representing the tree structure like this, directly representing the parse tree like this, just constructing and bottom up parsing. See, F tends to ID is one of the rule, right? In the place of this ID, just I am replacing the non-terminal. F tends to ID, right? And there we're having the another production T tends to F. See, T tends to F tends to ID, right? And in the place of this ID, F tends to ID is the rule, right? So F. Now T star F is derived from the production rule T tends to T star F. So see here, T tends to T star F, right? And E tends to T, E tends to T. See what the starting symbol? E. Starting symbol of the given grammar is an E. What we done here, as in the top down parsing, we are deriving from top to bottom, right? But here bottom to up derivation, I am showing that bottom to up derivation. Bottom is an ID star ID and up is an starting symbol of the given grammar, right? Make a note of this. Make a note of this tree structure step by step process. Then you can clearly understand how we perform the bottom up parsing. How we perform the bottom up parsing. Just by seeing with this example, you can easily understand. And at the side, just make a note, the given grammar is E tends to T, T tends to T star F, T tends to F, F tends to ID. Make a note of that grammar, and from that grammar, by taking the input string like this, we perform the bottom up technique, bottom to up. That means we constructed the bottom up parse tree here, bottom to up, right? Is it clear, all of you? Then what is reduction? What is reduction? As already explained, how we perform the reductions in the bottom up parsing. How we perform the reductions in the bottom up parsing. Here, the process of reducing a string W to the start symbol of the grammar. And how we are reducing it. At each reduction step, a substring that matches the body of a production. A substring that matches the body of a production is replaced by the non-terminal at the head of that production, right? This is another definition of reduction. But as already explained, what the reduction is, to identify the RHS, of the production rule and replaced by its corresponding LHS. This activity is called as a reduction. We can define either by this statement, or here in the from the slide we can also use the second statement by defining what the reduction is. At each reduction step, a substring that matches. Make a note of what the substring is. Substring is nothing but an substring is nothing but, and for example, I am taking this int. The overall string here, int plus open parenthesis, int closed parenthesis plus open parenthesis, int closed parenthesis, right? For example, I am only taking this part. What it means is this is the substring in the given string. How we're defining this is substring in the given string or only for the int. This is a substring. This is a substring in the given string, right? If we take entire string, then we can call it as a string. But we are defining the part in the string, then it can be called as a substring. Is it clear now? And substring that matches the body of a production is replaced by the non-terminal at the head of that production. And here, by ending the introduction about the bottom-up parsing, just up to now, I only introduced what the bottom-up parsing is and briefly explained with an example how the working principle takes place in bottom-up parsing, right? And there we use an terminology like in reduction, and just I gave what the definition of the reduction is, how the reduction takes place in the bottom-up parsers. And finally, how I am concluding the introduction of the bottom-up parsing is, here only we are basing on the two steps. The basic steps in the bottom-up parsings are, note down these two steps. With these two steps, we implement the working principle of the bottom-up parsing. The first step is reduction of the input string to start symbol is the first step. And what the second step is, the sententional forms that are produced in the reduction process should trace out rightmost derivation in reverse. These are the two things that we done in the construction of the bottom-up parsing, right? Again, I'm repeating what the two main basic steps in the bottom-up parsings are. One, reductions of the input string to start symbol. The second, the sententional form that are produced in the reduction process should trace out the rightmost derivation in reverse. These are the two most important basic steps that we followed or that we implemented in a bottom-up parsing. And now, after knowing what the introduction of the bottom-up parsing, just by knowing about the definition of bottom-up parsing and by learning with then examples and by seeing with then tree structures, sparse tree structures, and the derivation in an rightmost derivation, and deriving the inputs, deriving the bottom-up parsing, that means constructing the bottom-up parsing from leaves to root. These are all I explain now. These are all the things I explain now. Now we're going to learn a small concept, that is handle pruning. Handle pruning, which is also the fundamental concept in an bottom-up parsing. Before entering into the LR parsing techniques, before entering into the operator precedence parsing and LR parsing techniques, we need to know some basic concepts. And here in that basic concepts, the first concept is about handle pruning. As I already said that after knowing what the handle pruning, you all of you get one question, and for that question I will explain at the completion of this concept, and I will only say what the question it is, and I will only give the answer for that, right? See here what the handle pruning is. As I already said that the crucial task in bottom-up parsing is to find the substring that could be reduced by an appropriate non-terminal, right? So for that is the reason that is one of the problem we can consider. That why we are considering that as a problem means, for example, for simple context-free grammars, it is very easy to implement the working principle of bottom-up parsing just by taking the input string and generating the starting symbol, right? But when the given context-free grammar is a complex context-free grammar, or if the given input string is an arbitrarily long input string, then there we can face some problems. So that's why we are making a note that in some, by implementing the bottom-up parsing for some type of context-free grammars, what it means is, if the context-free grammar is a lengthy grammar, or or whatever the derived string, it is a lengthy string. For such type of strings and for such type of context-free grammars, it is a crucial task in bottom-up parsing is to find the substring that could be reduced by an appropriate non-terminal. So this is a reason for knowing the concept about handle pruning. This is the reason. To overcome this reason, we are knowing what the handle pruning concept is. That means we are learning another concept. That is not the drawback there. To rectify the errors, if you get some errors, if we are having complex context-free grammars, it is not much easy, where it is not very easy to implement the bottom-up parsing for lengthy strings. So for such reasons, we are using the handle pruning. So here we are going to learn what the handle pruning is. Before going to explain this example, this representation, I will give the definition of the handle pruning. And here the handle is a string of substring. See, this ID1 is a string. ID1 into ID2 is a string. When I'm only taking the ID1, this ID1 comes under the substring in the given string. What it means? The ID1 is a substring and ID2 is a substring. When I'm individually taking each and individual terminal, then those comes under the substrings. If I call it as directly ID1 into ID2, it is a string, right? I think you all understand what the string and what the substring is. Substring in the given string and string of substring that matches the right side of the production, and we can reduce such string by a non-terminal on the left hand side of the production. Whatever the context I explained in the bottom-up parsing is the same context and the same working principle we are applying here, just by using and reducing, a term reducing, right? But What is the difference between just by learning the bottom-up parsing concept and by learning this handle means, as I already said that for complex context different grammars, for arbitrarily long length of the strings, we are choosing this technique. We are choosing this technique. Or otherwise, our grammar is a very small grammar. That means we are having only 2 to 3 production rules in the given grammar. Then we can directly implement the working principle of the bottom-up parsing as we already learned in the last slides. Right? Is it clear now? The question is, what is the difference between this handle pruning technique and the bottom-up parsing technique? Why? Because in the both techniques we are using the principle, we are implementing the principle is same. We are implementing the principle is same. But what is the need of learning this technique means here, for the reason is to why to learn this handle pruning is for complex context-free grammars, for arbitrarily long length of the strings, we prefer this technique. Right, make a note of this. And such reduction represents one step along the reverse of the rightmost derivation. Formally, we can define that is an handle. Formally, we can define that as an handle. See here, all of you see the given example. All of you see the slide, where the slide consisting of a table representation, and here we're having right sententional form. Why? Because we are implementing an rightmost derivation here. We're applying rightmost derivation, handle and reducing production. And handling means which substring that we handle. Handling the substring in the string and reducing that substring by its left hand side of the variable. Left hand side of its non-terminal, right? Is it clear now? And reducing it by its left hand side of the variable. And all of you note down the example here. Once all of you note down the example. Now handle ID1. Handle ID1. ID1 or ID2, whatever it may be, this is an ID. Handle ID. Means from the given grammar, I'm having a rule like F tends to ID is the production. And by handling this substring, and I'm reducing this substring by replacing its left hand side of the variable. In the place of this ID, just I'm replacing the F. Right. Now handle F. Handle F. From the given grammar, I'm having T tends to F is the production. So reducing this right hand side of the production just by replacing its left hand side of the variable T. Replace T. In the place of F, now we are replacing it by T. And now handle ID2. This again ID is having in production F tends to ID. Now the right hand side of the production is replaced by its corresponding left hand side F. Yes, F. Directly I am having the rule for T tends T star F. Rule for T star F. So the overall string was handled now. The overall string was handled T star F. And I'm having a rule like E tends to T star F. E tends to T star F. Or from the previous grammar, see. From this grammar, E tends to T, right? E tends to T, T tends to T star F, right? So now you all place T tends to T star F here. T tends to T star F. Now you place T tends to T star F. And this T star F comes under T. Now we are replacing the RHS with its corresponding LHS by T, right? And now handle T. Handle T. We need the starting symbol of the given grammar, right? Handle T. And E tends to T is the production there. Write down E tends to T. And now this T, the right hand side T is replaced by its left hand side variable. Only E. E. What it means? Finally we derived an start symbol. We derived and start symbol of the given grammar by taking this input string ID1 into ID2, right? This is nothing but an handle. This is nothing but an handling the substrings in the given input string. Handle of a string means what? Substring that matches the RHS of some production and whose reduction to the non-terminal on the LHS is a step along the reverse of some rightmost derivation. As already explained this, right? Is it clear how to handle each and individual substring in the string and how to reduce it by the production? Right? Is it clear? when we are writing this table representation like this, it is very clear if we are having a lengthy input string. If you are having a lengthy input string to derive, and by representing like this, by using the terms handle and using the terms reduce, just by showing whatever we are doing in the how to handle and how to reduce, we are showing in a table representation like this. It is very much clear, because if we are having a lengthy string also, we can easily handle the substrings in the string, and we can easily reduce it by the given context free grammar, right? So we are preferring these techniques for complex context free grammars. And here see, what is handle pruning? And this slide is nothing but we're having the syntax. We need to follow that syntax, whatever I explained with this example, the same points here. Just A tends to beta is nothing but an LHS of the production and RHS of the production. Nothing is there. Here we are using right sententional form, and whatever the grammar we are choosing, that grammar should be an unambiguous grammar. It should not be an ambiguous grammar. And only it should, the grammar should be an unambiguous. Make a note. And see example number 2. That in example number 1, we show with the table representation, but here we're directly writing by just using the terms like an location 1, location 2, location 3, like that. All of you note down this example. Note down this example. The example is S tends to AA, BE, A tends to ABC or B tends to D. And now, initially I need to know what type of input strings I am going to generate from this type of grammars, right? I need to derive. Based on the top-down approach, I am checking out what type of strings that I am going to derive from the given grammar. What it means is, here I am defining the set of strings. That means I am defining the language. L is equal to the set of strings in the language. And by taking this by taking this grammar, just I am checking out, and I'm checking out which type of an input string is going to be yield from the starting symbol itself. From the starting symbol itself. See, I'm taking S tends to. See, what this means, it is a production representation, production rule representation. It is yielding the input string, yields. The representation of this is yields. And S yields AABE. That means we're taking the starting symbol of the given grammar, and here what the starting symbol of the production rule, what the starting symbol is defining the rule, just I'm taking that rule. And just I'm choosing some alternatives, and I'm replacing those alternatives in the place of the variables. And finally, I generated the string like this: A, B, B, C, D, E. A, B, B, C, D, E. Right. And here, for example, take the input string A, B, B, C, D, E. Now, reverse. Now, apply the bottom-up parsing. Reverse. A, B, B, C, D, E. In location 1 at A, we're not having any direct production to reduce. Any direct production to reduce to get an S. So, go for location 2. Go for location 2, B. B is having the rule A tends to B. So just replace that one, A, capital A, B, C, right? For again in the location 2, A, B, C is having a rule for the A. So again, the A, B, C is replaced by the variable A. Now it is A, small a, capital A, D, E. Small a, capital A, D, E. Now at location 3, D, D. At location 3, I am having D, right? And D is defined with an variable B. So I am replacing it by B. Now what it is? A, capital A, B, E. And overall this one is A, B, E. Where this RHS is, the RHS of its corresponding LHS is yes. So we get the starting symbol. We get the starting symbol. This is an bottom to up approach, bottom to up approach, just by naming with the location 1, location 2, location 3. But when we are implementing the technique like an handle pruning, you all just prefer like this. You all just prefer to draw the table representation like this. Then it is very clear to understand, right? And here the last one, that is an handle pruning. Handle pruning. What is handle pruning? Now we only know what the handle is, what handle pruning is. Here in this bottom up parsing, this handle pruning, what the definition of the handle pruning is: a process of detecting handles and using them in reduction. The overall process can be called as an handle pruning process. We handle it, see, in the example, we handle it and we prune by reducing with the production. We prune it by reducing them in the production, right? That's why the name it is handle pruning. Here we're having an example. What it is an example? See, if you have the string like this, and now find the handle is equal to B at location 2. And A tends to B is a rule in the above grammar. In this grammar, A tends to B is there, right? And if I replace capital A in the place of this small b, then it can be this one. And B at location 3, B at location 3 is not a handle. Why? Because if you replace A here, if you replace capital A variable here in the place of this terminal, then no production rules in the given grammar are suitable for this. No production rules in the given grammar are suitable for this to generate the starting symbol of the given grammar. So it was blocked here. So it was blocked here. So here in handle pruning, here also we're applying the rightmost derivation in reverse. See what the definition of the handle pruning is: process of discovering a handle and reducing it to the appropriate left hand side is called as an handle pruning. And here we're having some syntax. No need to bother about those syntax from the given grammar. Directly I explained the concept just by showing the example. It is clear, I think so. So no need to bother about all this, what the S, what the gamma, gamma n minus 1. It is from the algorithm. It is from the algorithm. Just if you get what the concept of handle pruning is, it's enough. And how to handle and how to prune it just by representing with a table. Are you all clear with this? Means it is enough. No need to learn the algorithms and the syntaxes of this. We are not applying any syntax rules here, right? All of you make these exercise problems. Make a note of these exercise problems. All of you make a note of this exercise problem 1, 2, and the 3 again from the exercise 1, and the this one is also from the exercise 2. All of you note down this. S tends to 0, S1 or 0, 1 indicate the handle in each of the following right sententional form. What it means is to construct the bottom up parsing. And for the grammar, S tends to SS or SS star or A indicate the handle in each of the following right sententional forms. So take one by one, and from the grammar you should show this one. You should show the starting symbol of the given grammar. From the grammar you should show the starting symbol of the given grammar. What it means is taking this input string and generating the starting symbol of the given grammar. Taking the input string 1, generate the start symbol. Taking the input string 2, generate the start symbol. Taking the input string 3, generate the start symbol. And here next we're having another questions like, now you need to draw the parse trees, bottom up parsers for the following input strings. Give bottom up parsers for the following input strings. For these two exercise problems, you need to show the table representations, right? Table handle, here the concept is handle, right? Table representations. And for these two, from the grammar of exercise 1 and this one from the grammar of exercise 2, directly you need to show the bottom up parsers. Directly you need to show the bottom up parser. What it means is, In this class, what I explained up to now, the introduction about the bottom-up parsing with by showing with an example with the derivation and with the parse tree structure, right? And then I explained the concept like in what the handle is and what the handle pruning is, right? The first two exercise problems comes under the handle pruning, and the last two examples in the third example exercise we're having 2 points. Those two comes under the first concept, that is in bottom up parsing. Directly you need to show the derivation. Directly you need to show the derivation, but in exercise 1 and exercise 2 you need to draw the table representations for each and every input string, and which you are handling and which terminal you are handling and how you are reducing with the production, right? Is it clear? And in the next class I will explain the other fundamental concept in the bottom up parsing, that is a shift reduce parser.